Hello, greetings and good day to you all. Welcome to Himmelsdorf. We are playing the AMX 40, otherwise known as the Duck Tank Chateau, on Himmelsdorf. Now, this is a tank that lies. It lies to you. Wargaming lie to you about this tank. This is a light tank. Well, yes and no. It clocks in, its max load limit is 25 tons. Now, for a light tank, that's fairly substantial, yes, but you might consider this a good tank, given that it has a speed limit of 50. 50 for a light tank? Yeah, down here, tier 4. Yeah, okay, compared to things like the Lux, yeah. No. Just no. Combined with having one of the worst guns in the entire game, not just tier for tier, but just generally. Man, I did not realise that there was an A20 behind me when I was playing this game. What the hell? I could have killed that guy. Oh well. As well as having one of the worst guns in the game, and if you want to have some fun, compare the gun on the AMX 40 to the gun on the M3 Lee. That's a fun exercise. This tank has the horsepower. Oh god, the horsepower. 190. 190 is the horsepower of this vehicle. Now that works out to giving it a horsepower to tank ratio of, I believe, 8.69. 8.69. Let me say that one more time. 8.69. Let's put that in perspective a little here. The E100 Tier 10 German heavy tank has a horsepower per tank ratio of 9.24. The Mouse has a horsepower to ton ratio of 9.26. Both of the tier 10 German heavy tanks have better horsepower to ton ratios than this tier 4 light tank. It is mind-numbingly bad. This tank is awful. The only reason you will ever play it, and God help you when you do, is to progress up to the good tanks of this tier. Now, why would you ever? Why would Wargaming even put this tank in? Well, it's because of the armour, isn't it? It's called the Duck Tank. It is well armoured. Now, the AMX 38 at the tier below has a speed limit of, I believe, 24, somewhere around there. And that's telling the truth. 50 on here only serves like... This is why I've gone up to the hill. I've gone up to the hill. I said while playing this game, I've gone to the hill because it gives me potential to use my speed limit. The only way that you'll get this tank to 50 kilometers an hour is to drop it off a cliff. You will never reach that speed just along flat land. It just doesn't work. The terrain resistance takes too much toll with its incredibly poor horsepower to ton ratio. Now, the armour on this tank is what's to talk about. You've got 70mm at the front, 65 at the side, and the weakest armour is 40, with most of the area of the tank being 45, but with an area of 40mm here. Now, that's not rivaling the Matilda, which is the armour at tier 4, 75 at the front, 75 at the side, and 70 at the rear. It's basically got KV1 armour, but this tank isn't really about just the raw thickness of the armour so much as it is about the angling of it. Look at the angle on the upper plate of this vehicle and on the lower plate. This is insane. If that armour was thicker, you'd be starting to get a competitive tank even at sort of tier 9 and 10 just because of the angle. And that is what makes the AMX 40 so powerful. The Cupola, far be it from a weak spot, it is 80mm along here. There's an area of 60 along this part of the chunk, and there is one small area where it is 40mm, but it's not really a viable weak spot for most of the guns down here at tier 4, which can't harness the accuracy or the penetration that you'd need to challenge it. So, AMX 40, let's see what we can do with it. Now, the traverse speed is not bad. I mean, it's 30, which is bad for a light tank, don't get me wrong, but for how this tank feels and how it moves due to the horsepower to ton ratio, it feels good because this tank is so slow. I was quite happy when I was playing this game that I'd actually found an arty player who doesn't know that you can hit shift. Yeah. Bless this guy. I honestly don't think he knows. He hasn't played. He's played 0k games and just bless him. He hasn't been soiled by the concept of arty yet. Now I'm looking to play very aggressively on the hill because we are already down a load of tanks. It is 1-7. 1-7. Now, I would complain about this, but this is just how it goes down here at low tiers. The battles are very, very quick. The one end to end, no one really cares about dying, so the battles tend to progress very, very quickly. Now, looking at the far on the AMX-40 with this gun, it gives you about... I'm just going to turn the volume down of all the tanks quickly so you can hear me a bit better. It gives you about 10 rounds per minute with this gun. Now that makes you reload about 5.5 seconds, somewhere around there. Now, the AMX-40, the M3 Lee, with exactly the same alpha damage, puts out twice the amount. It is not 10, it is 20. 2 times as much. And it's not like it gets a bonus because it's a tank destroyer, it's a medium tank. And it's a sucky medium tank. The M3 Lee sucks. It is so bad. You all know about it from jingles. It's a horrible, horrible tank, but the gun is leagues better than the gun on the AMX-40. And you may be saying, well, the gun is the only half respectable thing about the M3 Lee, and while that is the case, it really doesn't do anything to put my mind at ease about the just horrible nature of this gun. It's even got better pen on the M3 Lee. Here, I believe the AP rounds will get you about 74mm of pen. 74. And with your premium heat shells, you get 110. Oh, no, 91. 110's the alpha damage. 91. 91. I just... This is one of the reasons why the Matilda is so much more popular at Seal Club tank, why you never see AMX-40s. Because the Matilda has a massive pen. It has a really, really damn good gun, but the AMX-40 just cannot compete in that regard. Now, we are down still. We've come back a few tanks, but we're still quite far behind, 7-11. You see this one at 5. Probably have already killed that DW2 if I was in my M3 Lee. Not that I'd ever play that tank willingly. And you actually have Dead Moose to thank for seeing a tier 4 tank gameplay on the channel at all. He was the one who requested it on stream. Now I've loaded heat for this DW2. While he's angled like this, it's not particularly necessary, but he turns his tank to the side there. But I do know that the DW2 has 50mm of armor everywhere at this kind of distance. 74mm of pen if he angles is going to be challenging. Now, I am 1 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enemy tanks, so in contention for the color banners. And I noticed that the LTP was actually turning that way, so I consider that he's probably not going to poke around this corner. I can use my top speed. Oh my goodness, it's amazing! I'm finally going to be able to evolve into my final form. I will become a light tank. Oh my goodness. Oh, I was surfing there, I was muted then. I will become a light tank. Watch! Oh my word, the speed! Ah! Today the duck tank is truly a light tank. So as I'm approaching the cap here, you're going to see me aiming on pretty much every corner because I do want to I'm gonna aim to the left here, and I'm pre-aiming the turret. My turret is already aimed to the left, because I know that if the tank was spotted there, the speed I'm going at, and even if I wasn't going at this kind of speed, the turret reverse on the AMX-40 is not that impressive at all. So having your turret pre-aimed like this means you can snap a shot off quicker than if someone was spotted as you're going by and you just have to turn the tank. I know that I have to deal with the cap as much as I might like to stay on the hill and deal with that LTP. Need to get in here. And we find a very juicy low health T28. Now I know that the enemy are going to want to come up behind me, so I turn my tank around in preparation. There we have a BT7 RT. At this point I'm thinking, well, I know the characteristics of BT7's RT's gun. I know it can't pen me with AP, it can't do a lot of damage with HE. The LTP, if he gets around me, can certainly do a lot of damage, so I make sure to take him out first before he can get into cover. And this BT7 RT is just, yeah, not going to have any luck at all. I know their mentality is going to be to try and get behind me, so I'm already turning my tank around because I know there's going to be someone coming up on the other side, and we do take a penning shot. Let's have a look at where that went in the turret. I would imagine, where do we take that pen? I can't see a pen mark. That's quite odd. But yeah, one thing I should specify about the front of this tank. This is 70mm, this bar of armor here. But the upper plate of this tank is actually only 60. I say only 60. Look at the angle. That armor is just phenomenal. If you are shooting at the front of this tank, try and hit here. You're going to get a flat angle. That is 70. I'm not sure what thickness this is, but it looks fairly flat. It looks like a good angle to be hitting. But yeah, now we are facing the M20. He is a one-shot fast. We would have to roll 7 below our average not to take him out. But I'm all too aware that his gun fires twice as quickly as mine does. So we have a snapshot and we put our side armor on a decent angle. We're waiting for him to bounce so that we can pull out. BT7 RT comes out of nowhere and I'm just really not interested. Bounce off the 50mm of frontal armor on the M20 Lee. Our second shot goes cleanly in. It's just a matter of seeing if we can hand down the M20 Lee and avoid the enemy RT, who's already got one kill. And at this point I'm thinking I'm not in any danger from the BT7 RT at all. Even if he gets behind me, he's scarcely going to do any damage unless he gets very lucky. I believe I also have a spall liner on this tank. Just to please the stream community. You're seeing I'm playing with 105 gasoline and premium consumable, which I certainly wouldn't be doing of my own will. Now, this is an interesting point. I know that the BT7 RT has gone this way. I'm predicting that he's going to come blazing down this passageway and try and use his speed to get out and regroup with his RT. So instead of doing what some of you might think to do and aiming on the corner, I'm aiming to the left of the next one. The BT7 RT is a fast tank. It's certainly a manoeuvrable tank. It's got an amazing horsepower to tunnel ensure. It is very fast to accelerate and has a decent top speed as well. Not the best top speed, but certainly decent. And I know that if I aimed on the corner with the turret reverse of the AMX-40 and him coming at high speed, I would not be able to rescope my gun from spotting him there to shooting him there. So I'm already aimed on this location, so that if he does come blazing out, I'm going to have the shot pre-aimed so that I can take him out on the corner, which is something that you can use to your advantage. If you know something's going to come out fast, pre-aim, and don't just pre-aim on the corner when you're going to spot him, pre-aim a long way in front of them so that you've already led your shot by the time they get around to appearing, because the spotting delay will screw you over. You can see the DW2 on the enemy team there, saying, "You are my hero." Well, I'm glad, sir. I hope you enjoyed the game. Now, why did I reverse so far? It's simply because I'm all too aware that I won't be able to get to 50 kilometers an hour. My top speed is 50, but I don't see anything of that unless I get a run up. So I can reverse a significant way up the hill so that I can get a decent amount of speed up. And the reason I want to access my top speed is because Himmelsdorf is very streety. You know, there's one passageway, then there's another passageway. You know, there's not many open expanses of land. And what speed does for me here is that I can being mobile, and I can spot my target, and I can get into cover. If I'm just roaming around very, very slowly, it will mean that something like an arty is going to be able to aim the shot, because I certainly can't one-shot that Sexton. Even though he's a tier 3 arty, I won't be able to one-shot him. So I'm hunting for my top speed here, and we managed to get up to... There we go, we've hit 50. And let's see how that speed limit holds up. Flat land, completely flat land, we've got to run up, and we are slowing down very, very significantly. We're almost down to 30. 50 kilometers an hour, my fat ass. See me again, trying to play aim the chariot. He does get lit up there, because of our speed boost we manage to get out the other side before he snaps the shot off. Now what am I thinking? I'm thinking I'm spotted there. The one thing I don't want to let this arty do is close the distance, because he can take a shot, and with my reload 5.5 seconds, somewhere around there, if he comes around the corner, he is going to get the shotgun off. I need to keep the distance. I need to get a shot off on a corner. In this engagement, I need to reduce him down to a one-shot, because that takes away all the advantages that he has. And from his point of view, he wants to just charge me, you know, not let me get away. He's got the chance to finish me off before I can kill him with my reload. He may not know that. I doubt he's played an awful lot of games, 2K games under his belt. But yeah, what I want to do is put myself in a position where I can get the first shot off. So I'm baiting him and basically trying to make it look like I'm going all the way one way. As soon as he gets unspotted, I reverse my tank through here. Now, the reason I like and dislike this position is because it gives me a good few options. I'm going to get the first shot on the corner, and then I can use these windows, which will be very hard for an artillery to loop a shot through. I can use these windows, and if he comes blazing on there, I can pull back behind this cover as well. So I'm undoubtedly going to be able to get the first shot over this land here, because his arty is, well, arties find it very hard to encroach on you when you're in a position like that and just waiting for the shot, because generally a part of their tank will peek around that is not well armoured. It's not like when you're driving a tank, like if we were in, let's say, a T-54 here, then we'd be able to poke around this open land at someone on the other side, turn it first, because we've got armour, we're designed for that. But an arty simply can't do that, and we undoubtedly, if we're here, going to be able to get a shot into the top, the superstructure of the arty before he gets his gun on us. So it gives me a lot of options, and the reason why I wouldn't like this position is simply because I can get locked down here, and if it was a good player on the enemy team, then what I could potentially do is aim a shot here, and sit in this side of the cap circle, and I wouldn't be really able to work these windows within pre-aim, so what I then have to do is get out here and all the way around. But, you know, it's speculative as to whether I could get locked down in this position. So I'm pre-aiming a shot, hoping that he's going to take the bait that I've gone out the other way and cut around the corner, and he does. We do get the first shot off, so that is half of our job done. Now again, I'm thinking I really don't want to get locked down. I've done my job, I've reduced him to a one shot, and now I want to change up the engagement. Again, as long as he knows where I am, we're kind of on a level playing field. If I get unspotted again, I can start thinking and doing more to actively outplay him. You're going to see here, while I'm scoping in, my R button is pushed. So I've tapped R once. So I'm not holding down W as I'm speeding away here. I've tapped R once, and what you'll see happening is my reticule stabilizing out. I'm actually going to be aiming, becoming more accurate while on the move, and that's because I've just tapped R once and it allows me to aim while moving away. Look, my aim circle's actually getting smaller while I'm moving. That allows us to put in a lovely shot whilst we're still getting out of there. And that is 9 kills in the AMX-40 Kolobanovs. We won't get Leadley Walters because Leadley Walters and Pulse medals and things like that do not apply down here at Tier 4. But let's have a look at the post-battle results, see what really went on. Alright, gents, Ace Tanker. Can I be proud of that down here at Tier 4? No, not really. It was my first ace in the AMX-40, but I do not have any satisfaction out of it at all. Top Gun High Caliber Kolobanovs medal, that is my second Kolobanovs that I've earned legitimately by killing all the enemy tanks after being 1v5 or more. You can see my first ever one, I'll put a link to that in the description down below. We got 1.4k damage, which isn't exceptional in and of itself. I mean, it's good down here at tier 4, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing absolutely amazing. Now, 9 kills, could have had 10 if I'd noticed that guy at the start. This worked out to 26,500 WNA, and that should really emphasise just how bad this tank is, how rarely it's played, and how rarely even further it is played well. Now, the disappointing thing for me about having a game like this is the fact that I don't feel like I did anything particularly special. So 223 damage on C, 352 blocked by armor, nothing remarkable there. It was simply the fact that I feel like we had a dominating factor throughout the entire game, and that was simply our experience, the ability to know to prioritise the LTP, who thought he could maybe get around us as well as coming down the hill while I was shooting at BT-7RT. We didn't let him, we switched targets and we took him out then and there, and I feel like we were seeing that throughout the entire game. Just my experience won that game, not the tank. I feel like I could have done similar performance in any other tank at Tier 4 in this matchup, and I think things like leading that shot on that BT-7RT that was coming down the hill, outplaying that artillery at the end, all of that was simply down to my experience, and it's really the difference between someone who's played sort of 17,000 games like me and someone who's played 1 to 2k games. And you know, it's sure it was a good game, but not much more to say. We didn't run a profit, spent 20,000 on a premium consumable, either the 105 gasoline or the I can't remember what the French consumable is, but in any case, gents, I thoroughly hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, do be sure to drop a like. Do let me know, it really does help me out. Everything you like, I see all of them, and that raises my self-esteem a massive amount, so do be sure to do that, and until next time, farewell. Get out. Ow! My word! Okay. I've gotta put that in those series, just to for them chucking all the tanks off the place. God damn it, Wargaming! Hey, I can see my house from here, oh my god! This stands for better, as in better than you little bitch!